Alright, here we go. I'm very excited. Today is Easter for my friend, the Greek, and he finally got back to me. I asked him to check out my first two videos. He said that's all he saw. It's not a bad stopping point. However, I told him I've now made 7, and this is video 8. So it's a beautiful day out there. And it's now 1:36 p.m. on April 24th, 2022, and this is video 8. So in regards to the thumbnail, I purposely goofed on it and made some mistakes, and what that is I forgot something. So it's actually 2 layers. I created that, and then I went back and created that image that you now see. So if that doesn't draw people in, and when I name this Trudeau must go, hashtag Trudeau must go, I'm going to try to put a good title on to attract some attention. If I don't get any views now, I don't know what to say. So we'll see what happens. So always I start at 62 Eleanor, but today I started at different, and I hope you guys can all see. And this is again just my camera sitting. So good news, the eBay offer was not accepted, and now I'm going to try to get it sent to the same person from China. However, it looks like she's already shipped it out, so now I'm going to have a separate order. So I just got to negotiate the price. I'm going to go with an 8 gigabyte. So the current card I'm using now, because this camera is so old, it's a long style memory stick. And what I'm doing is I've ordered the adapter already, which is being sent to me, and then I'm going to go with a smaller card with more memory. So instead of making bigger ones, I imagine the technology got better and they made them small, put them in the cameras. But anyways, I need an adapter. So the adapter's coming from China, and again now I might go back to that same lady and try to get this 8 gigabyte. So right now I'm 512 megabytes. So it's giving me 22 minutes of filming. And when I go up to this 8 gigabytes, I'm hoping to get, what, 8 times the range? I'm hoping so. Maybe 16 times, whatever the math is. Okay, from 512 megabytes to 8 gigabytes. So what I can do is I might have to buy some new batteries, because it doesn't look like these ones are charging properly. And they were new. I never used them because I never used this camera. But now I'm going to use this camera. I'm going to try to incorporate this and get better. This will be a camera rather than using a phone. I'll buy another camera after, and then I'll use the two while I start improving these videos. So if you're listening, I'm glad you're listening. And like I say, I'm not Jimmy Kimmel. I'm not going to try to get you to listen. My question is, if you're not listening, why aren't you listening? That's my question, as always. You should be listening. I'm not here to waste time on this, or your time for that matter. So in the video thumbnail, which I'm quite proud of, I mentioned in my very first video, so this is April 24th, it was made 1 week ago, the one I put up on April 17th. I made, in the description I wrote like a letter, and in there I say I have a problem with Mr. Trudeau. So at the very least, I'm 51 years old, born and raised in Canada my entire life. I've been traveled a little bit, but I've always lived in Canada, and I'm 51 years old, and I have a problem with this guy. And at the very least, I think a lot of other Canadians should have too, if you can hear me out. Now, whether you hear me out or not, that's up to you. I hope you're listening. I hope this video gets some numbers up, because I'm trying to learn and trying to get my story out there. So, Mr. Trudeau, my beef with Mr. Trudeau is, and why he should go to jail is, I've been coming for 10 years. I've been representing myself in court for 10 years. And I told my friend I'm a person of interest with the government. He laughed in my face. I believe I am. And this is a long story. This is not something that's just started overnight. So people don't know about what I got cooking. But maybe Mr. Trudeau knows. And maybe Mark Saunders knows. And Mr. Ford and Mr. Tory, they all know me. I suspect they do. It doesn't matter. I now have a problem with Google, as I told you, if they own YouTube, because of what I put up. So it's very, very apparent to me that obviously we're being controlled by these few elite that seem to run the world, and I'm not happy. And I said in my last video, I'm going to try to take it where it should be as far as I'm concerned. So what have I done here? I've gone back to 89 Eleanor. And what's interesting is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, where the pointer is now is 89 Eleanor. So for whatever the reason, on this other website, once again, this time I can see the foundations being made here from the overhead view. And what's popped up, and I left this up, I hope you can see it, it's a different image than what popped up in the second video. No, and it would have been in the first video. Also in my first video, I asked at 6:07 or whatever, I pinned it. I pinned my comment in my first video. So at the end here, the last 30 seconds, I try to put the information, I try to point you where I want you to go. For this video, I'll make it that it goes back to my first video. So you should watch my first video, and then hopefully you'll be hooked and you'll want to see what's going on. So what am I doing here? I'm 51 years old, I'm a Canadian citizen, and I'm very simply trying to tell my story. And my story is, I have a problem with the Canadian government, and then the Toronto Police, and the Durham Police, and the York Police, and the OPP. So they've made me a criminal, and I don't feel that I've ever been guilty of any crimes. And I've been charged and convicted. It's going to be 4 times pretty soon. So video 3 is something you should see also. But if you cannot read what's in the blue screen there, this is similar to what happened in the first video, but here they're tightening up the date a little bit now. So what it reads is, Toronto, Ontario, Toronto 2015 imagery. Image captured on January 14, 2015 as shown in the 2016 0831 version of the World Imagery Map. Okay, the resolution and the accuracy never change as per the first video. I'm noticing the camera maybe is a little bit too high, but anyways, this is where it's going to be. And I don't know what you can see. So using this website, I believe that is 89 Eleanor right here. And you can see it's being fabricated at this time. Okay, so in 2016, August 31st of 2016, it's under construction. And then here we have it on Google Maps, and let's go back and see where they're building it here, because I think they said, yeah, see, they have it in 2015 as the house already on top of that foundation. Okay, so by them tightening up, by showing that disclaimer there on this other website, I just moved the camera a bit here with this disclaimer. What they're saying is they're basically off by a year, could be as much as a year and almost 9 months. They're tightening it up from the first video, where the first video was like 3 years difference. So I guess they're trying to cover themselves. And why these things are popping up at certain times, I don't know. But anyways, I'm not too worried about it. I'm just trying to point out to you here, when I go to August 11th, so 20 days before, there it is. Okay, now watch what happens. It changes. Once again, it's in 20 days this time. Okay. However, on Google, it's showing that house as being built in August of 2015. So this makes sense to me, because it's pre my 2020 date. So what is my issue? As I've said before, and now I'm gonna have no problem saying it again today, my issue with Trudeau is I have a problem with him, and the Canadian government is saying that I'm crazy for the last 10 years, ever since I've been charged by police. That's when it started. That's the history of my mental health illness. I got charged, and then the police said that I was mental. So that's how this all started. But what I'm doing here is I'm going back, but I didn't change it. I'm going back down the street because I want to go back to 62, and hopefully I didn't pass it yet. Okay, so coming down from 89, there should be quite a few houses. I mentioned in the last video that I got out from the taxi. Okay, so I've been thinking an awful lot about that. And here we go, you see. So what I'm going to say to you is, my problem with Mr. Trudeau These two houses represent, right here is 60 Eleanor, and this is 62 Eleanor. You can see the name there, okay? These houses were not there in at least July 22nd of 2020. That's the day apparently of my arrest. I keep saying apparently. There's a reason why I say apparently. So on this day, or thereabouts, I went into 62 Eleanor. I had never been in it before. And this is not the house that I went into, clearly. So what the Crown has done is they took me to court. They forced me to go to court, similar to what this judge did to me in video 3. He's trying to make me go ahead. And the judge started my trial, and then the Crown showed 2 different photos of these houses from Google Maps. So all you're gonna have now is the audio of me saying these Google Map houses here, and it makes no sense as the behavior of what the Crown did. But I need to confirm this. I need to get somebody on Eleanor to confirm this for me. Okay, that this house was not there in 2020, sorry, like they're saying it was. So I was there in July of 2020. They're saying it's even here in June of 2019. So that, everybody, is impossible. And if it's not impossible, then I'm crazy, and you better lock me up, and you better throw away the key. So there you have it. There's what I've said. That's for the record. It's complete nonsense. And in this particular photo, I'm not going to show you, but there's a landscaping sign, and I phoned this lady, and she said that she knew this gentleman very well, who claimed to be the owner of this house, and now he has some heart trouble, and he might die. That's what she told me. But she said it was done back in 2018, which is the story that everyone's saying, and that's not true. So when you go back on the Google Maps, yeah, they're saying by 2018 it was done. I'm telling you, I was there in 2020, and this is not the house. The reason why is because I know these houses. So during my second bail hearing, that's what the judge said. She said that if I knew the houses, things might be different. But because of this, she said she's going to find me guilty. And then I must stay in jail. Not that she found me guilty. She wouldn't give me bail. And that was when I had my cousin who was willing to be a surety. So I was in on some very simple charges. And this Goldberg, another stinky Jew who was representing the Crown, was representing the Queen of England. It just put on a charade and did not do his job properly. Man had no problem lying, producing witnesses that were lying. And I'm still not sure what I'm going to do about this. I might just let it go. I don't know what I'm going to do. I got to think about it, because time is ticking. And my issue is, as you heard in video 3, I need to get monies. So I'm not putting these videos up to make monies. I'm putting these videos up to tell my story. And it's a very interesting story, and it's a true story. So my government is saying that I'm crazy, and I've never once thought that I was crazy. So I don't appreciate this, and that's why I have an issue with Trudeau. And Mark Saunders is just as bad. So Mark Saunders, what I mentioned in those previous two videos, I try to expand on it a bit, because I gotta watch what I say. So I'm putting this content out there, and I'm not sure what I'm doing, so I gotta watch myself. But Mark Saunders, as I mentioned, in the year 2019, and if I'm not mistaken, that's the year I'm gonna have issues with my father's will. He got an increase, a pay increase of 20.5%. Okay, so he gets a similar one back in 2016 also. So what's going on these time frames are the Black Lives Matters. He's black, and also then defund the police when he retires. Those are the issues that were going on in his life. So just to let you, enlighten you from what I have here, from a snapshot that I took. It says that when he got promoted in 2015 from being deputy chief, to police chief, he got a pay increase of 39.7%. That makes sense. He's changing titles. He's going to get a raise. So he goes from deputy chief to chief of police, and his salary goes up about $82,000 a year, okay, from what I see. And then in 2016 he gets another hefty increase, 16.2%, and he gets an increase of about $46,000. Okay? So then he goes 2017 1.6%, 2018 2%, and then he goes back to 2019 and he gets a 20.5% increase. So he goes from $344,000, 398 in 2018. In 2019 he's making $414,954. That's an increase of 20.5%. And then in 2020, during pandemic, when I first come back to Toronto, he gets a further 16% increase, and his salary is $481,515, which I mentioned to you in the last video, which I entitled Part 2 of Mark Saunders. So in there you saw what I got in my mail. So I'm probably going to talk more about that, and I could even do it in this video, but for the time being I'm not gonna do it as of yet. So the title is Why Trudeau Must Go. Trudeau must go because he's a criminal. Very, very simple. He's a criminal. No, I've been in jail for 17 and a half months, and I haven't watched the news, or I haven't watched TV, sorry, regularly since 2018 when the Olympics finished up in 2018. Afterwards, I let my cable lapse. So literally, all I've been seeing for the last 4 years is on my phone and through YouTube on my smart TV, which I sold. I no longer have. So I've been away from the media for 4 years. I don't know what you people have been being told while I'm in jail. But the point is, I have an issue with Trudeau because during that time in 2020, okay, now somebody can fact check me on this, 2020, I thought that he had given $980,000 to the WE charity, and then they asked his mother and his brother to speak, and they paid back around $415,000 back to his family. You cannot do that. That's money laundering, and for that he should go to jail. That's what I say to Mr. Trudeau, at the very least. And now, if you want to know what's been going on in the last few days, with today being April 24th, in the last few days, what's happened is this guy, Trudeau, invoked to get rid of the protesters in Ottawa, the Emergencies Act. So I said the last few days, this is going back to February 18th is when they cracked down, right? So it was around that time frame. So we're over a month already. We're within 6 weeks. Within 6 weeks. So I said the other day, it's really 6 weeks. In the last 6 weeks, when he kicked everybody out, what he said was, he announced to the world through the media that he is invoking the Emergencies Act. Okay? He's not supposed to say that, because they did not meet the criteria to invoke the Emergencies Act, nor did they even come close to what's been established as the minimum criteria that allows that act to be passed. So that's taking it further. Then that's just me speaking off the top of my head. My issue is, I want to put that guy in jail because he's a criminal for money laundering. I'm not even talking about anything else. At the very least, and I wrote this in video 1, April 17th. Again, I'll put the information at the end of the video in the last 30 seconds. So what I've done in every video, again, at the last 30 seconds, I'm pointing you where I wanted you to go. So if you're listening till the end, then when you see that, that's what it means. That's what's going on. So when you see those pop up, I'm pointing you after I'm finishing that video where I'm thinking I want you to go. So I got to go in sometimes to back it if there's not even another video available, and I want you to go to the next one. So I said in Mark Saunders Part 1, I would put it to 3 if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to leave it. But Part 1 should have went to Part 2. And this could be technically called Part 3. in regards to Mark Saunders. But now I've mentioned to you about Trudeau. So obviously, with me having trouble in the courts for the last 10 years, my point is anyone in government for the last 10 years is involved, in my opinion. And I find it very hard to believe that 338 people sit in that House of Commons in Ottawa and they behave the way they do, and they're supposed to be representing Canadians. Because when Trudeau says all Canadians, I disagree with a lot of things that come out of his mouth. So he shouldn't be speaking on my behalf when I disagree with him. That's Trudeau. So now we're going to see if I get some views with this video, because hopefully the title and the thumbnail does its job, and it looks pretty impressive, I'm thinking. So even though I messed it up, it still looks good. And that's it for this one. I hope you enjoy. Share it. I need some help to get my numbers up, because eventually I want to get this to be paying. So that's why part of the reason why I'm doing this. It's not to make my income, it's to tell my story. But at the same time, I want people to be hearing this. I want Canadians to be hearing this. And I don't know why you wouldn't be listening. Okay, thanks so much, and we'll see you again. Take care. Be safe.